Kunkavi, we have heard a number of explanation as to why the military in Myanmar decided to seize power. But for you, what do you think was the last straw?
I think Min Aung Hlaing thought that Aung San Suu Kyi treat his words without any serious thinking. I think Min Aung Hlaing has been saying that there was election fraud several times, but Aung San Suu Kyi did not take his word. So I think such an attitude embarrassed the general. I think that's the last straw. Of course, there are other reasons, because there were differences in both attitude and governance. For example, during the peace process discussion, Aung San Suu Kyi would like to be more inclusive, but the military would like to be more specific, regarding the ethnic group. So there are still a lot of difference. So when National League of Democracy won by landslides and the military alleged that there was election fraud, I think Aung San Suu Kyi should have taken it seriously because she has already won by landslide. She should not be afraid, but I think she just ignored Min Aung Hlaing's sort of response.
But the whole world seemed very alarmed with the military coup by Myanmar junta. What do you see the role of international community in order to solve the situation?
Well, international community will continue to pressure Burma. Of course, this is very important because such a blatant action, by the military regime is not acceptable. So I think international community, United States, even China will play a very important role in pressuring the military, the Tatmadaws, to release Aung San Suu Kyi and make sure that the emergency in the future would be shortened and that the normalcy will be restored as soon as possible. And I think the role of ASEAN in this manner is very, very pivotal.
How do you think the Myanmar military will respond to the proposal by Indonesian President Joko Widodo and Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin that ASEAN foreign ministers hold an urgent meeting to discuss solutions to what's going on in Myanmar?
I think it would be very difficult for the military leaders to accept it. And I think there must be some other way. At least this idea need to be discussed and find the consensus among senior officials before it's being proposed officially. It's the idea that try to prove that ASEAN must maintain its centrality. How? ASEAN must initiate, ASEAN must engage. When ASEAN member has an internal problem, we cannot run away. We should take initiative and discuss. We should be more open. We should engage constructively, not run away. I think this is good. But there are other ways. So I think Tatmadaw has to abide by the ASEAN Charter that submit itself to the ASEAN principle and that inform ASEAN that we are part of your member, we report to you and that we need ASEAN help. And if that is the case, then ASEAN can play a very constructive role, because otherwise ASEAN will just say it's an internal affair. We have a cardinal principle of not interfere with internal affair. But I think this time ASEAN attitude is much more assertive given the seriousness of the situation. And I think the Tatmadaw leader have to carefully think and weigh all the pros and cons that in the future, if they need to be part of the ASEAN community, they need to have ASEAN engage in the positive way.
And what should be the role of Thailand, given that Thai military and Myanmar military have a very close relations?
Well, it's a very delicate, it's a catch-22. You damn if you do, you damn if you don't. But I think so far Thailand has fit itself well in all the situation. But if there is a consensus within ASEAN that Thailand should serve as a bridge with Tatmadaw, we should do that. but ASEAN must have consensus. Thailand must not do it alone. Of course, we do have very good bilateral relation, common borders, and Myanmar worker help Thailand. So we need to have ASEAN consensus, whatever role we plan to do. And if we have good idea, we should push toward ASEAN side, particularly Brunei, the chair, so that the chair can take initiative on behalf of ASEAN and then allow member country to cooperate. I think that would be the most appropriate ways.